Hey everyone, I'm back once again to present another enlightening video on the history and mythology of Zhuge Liang and the Three Kingdoms era. Combining both folklore and historical records, I aim to shed light on these very important topics. In the two previous videos, I covered the inventions of Zhuge Liang in detail, and in the second video, I explained the recruitment process of Zhuge Liang. Now, I feel it is time to take a look at Kong Ming in action, as a military strategist and a leader of men. In this video, I will be discussing Zhuge Liang's famous Southern Campaign, otherwise known as the Pacification of Nanzhang, which took place in 225. This one is one of my personal favorites. In 223, Shu Han Emperor and founder Liu Bei died of natural causes at the age of 62. With Liu Bei now gone, tensions amongst the tribal factions began to rise. A tribal chief by the name of Yong Kai got the word of Liu Bei's death and began to revolt against Shu. Yong Kai killed a Shu official named Zhang Ang and took his successor Zhang Yi prisoner. The Shu general Li Yan wrote 6 letters to Yong Kai to try and attempt to ease the situation, but Yong Kai replied, "I heard that the sky cannot have 2 suns, and the land cannot have 2 rulers. Now, from a distance away, I can see that the empire has been divided into 3. So I am fearful and confused, and do not know who to pledge allegiance to." At this time, the Shu state was still in mourning of Liu Bei's death. The Prime Minister Zhuge Liang decided to focus on domestic issues and the gathering of resources. Kong Ming was not an impulsive man. Despite the problems, he focused on strengthening bonds with the Wu Kingdom. The Shu-Wu alliance was the key to defeating the Cao Wei state. Fortunately, Gao Ding of the Su tribe decided to rebel alongside Yong Kai. They killed the Shu administrator, Jiao Huang. Zhuge Liang appointed Gong Lu as the new administrator, but he was also killed upon his arrival to the post by Gao Ding. It was clear that the rebellion had begun to gain momentum, so Kong Ming sent an official to investigate. He was also killed by Zhu Bao, a Shu administrator who openly decided to turn his back on the state. At this point, the situation was dire. Yong Kai went to seek help from the non-Mon leader and aristocrat Meng Huo, who was held in high regard and fame. Yong Kai tried to get the non-Mon to assist his treacherous cause. Meng Huo supposedly lied to his own people, claiming that the Shu government had mistreated them. These lies eventually worked. The non-Mon people were now rebelling against Shu. With the Shu-Wu alliance successfully restored, Kong Ming decided to take military action against the tribes. Kong Ming was advised not to go, but he feared that the Shu generals wouldn't have been able to suppress the rebellion without him being there. So Zhuge personally led his army south towards the Nanzhang region. The Southern Campaign had begun. The Shu forces traveled down the water route of Anshan County, through Yuxi Commandery, finally entering Nanzhang. Gao Ding and Yong Kai had constructed several forts in the area, making preparations for battle. The tribes planned to lure Kong Ming and his forces deep into the enemy lines, while Zhuge Liang wanted to wait for Gao Ding's men to gather so he could crush them all in one blow. But Yong Kai had been killed by one of Gao Ding's men. With Yong Kai now gone, Meng Huo assumed the position of leader. Not long after this, Gao Ding himself was slain by Zhuge Liang in battle. During this time, Ma Zhong defeated Zhu Bao and recaptured the territory. Unfortunately, Li Huai had more difficulty. He reached his destination of Kunming, but was besieged. He lost contact with Zhuge Liang and became surrounded by the enemy. He was said to have used a clever trick of deception to change the tide of the battle. He pretended to rebel against Shu and joined the rebels. The tribes believed him and lowered their guard. He took advantage of the opportunity and eventually defeated them. After this, the other units joined up with Zhuge Liang. Kong Ming and his main army turned their attention to the remaining rebels. Meng Huo still had a sizable force of tribal rebels, and he continued to put up a decent resistance against the Shu armies. Zhuge Liang knew of Meng Huo's reputation and fame. Killing him would only cause more uproar. Kong Ming did not want to kill him, so instead he captured him and took him back to the Shu main camp. Whilst in capture, Zhuge Liang gave him a full tour of the area, showing him the layout and the troops of the area. Zhuge Liang asked Meng Huo what he thought. Meng Huo responded, "Before this, I knew nothing about your army, which was why I lost. Now that you have shown me around your camp, I know the conditions of your army, and will be able to win you easily." Zhuge Liang supposedly laughed at this response. He set him free so they could fight again. All in all, Meng Huo was captured a total of 7 times. On the 7th time, Meng Huo finally surrendered to Kong Ming by saying, "You must be the valor of the heavens. The South will not rebel again." Kong Ming never attempted to kill him, but to subdue him. These 7 captures became famous throughout history. Although the exact details of the captures were not recorded, the historical novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms mentions that Zhuge Liang had used several schemes against him, and vice versa. On one occasion, in response to the constant defeats, Meng Huo released his elite rattan troops to fight the Shu forces. These soldiers wore armor made of hard rattan. The armor was said to be indestructible. No arrows or weapons could penetrate it. However, the armor did indeed have a weakness. It didn't take long for Zhuge Liang to discover and exploit it. He found out that the rattan was highly flammable, so he placed mines in the valley to take out the troops. Zhao Yun blocked the escape of the remaining troops, and Meng Huo was captured. A great victory for Shu, but it was said that Zhuge Liang wept with sorrow when he looked down and saw the burning barbarians. On another occasion, the Nanman forces attempted to use wild animals to fight against Shu, such as tigers and war elephants. Zhuge Liang had long known about these animals, so he responded by deploying several fire-breathing machines known as juggernauts, which caused the animals to cower in fear and the Nanman tribes to retreat. Thus Meng Huo was captured once again. After the region of Nanzhong had been pacified, Zhuge Liang demonstrated yet another talent of his: politics and leadership. He decided to divide 2 of the 4 Nanzhong commanderies, but he did not assume the position of leader himself. Rather, he let the natives govern their own territories. He knew that the tribes may have held some resentment towards Shu, so he allowed the people to self-govern, leaving the local tribal chiefs in charge. Zhuge Liang only required them to pay tribute to the Shu government in the form of silver, war horses, oxen, and gold. Zhuge Liang explained his methods, saying, "If we leave behind outsiders, we must also leave soldiers with them, and the soldiers back there will not have any provisions. This is the first difficulty. Then, the barbarians have lately suffered injury and destruction, their fathers and brothers being killed. Leaving behind outsiders and no soldiers would be certain to bring calamity. This is the second difficulty. Lastly, the barbarians have frequently committed the crime of deposing and killing governors, and they are aware of how serious their misdeeds are. If we leave behind outsiders, they will never be at ease. This is the third difficulty. Now I intend to leave no soldiers behind, nor transport provisions, and yet to bring about some government, and to make both barbarians and Chinese live more or less peacefully with each other. Hence my measure." The southern campaigns were a great success for Shu Han. Zhuge Liang was victorious, and the resources required from the Nanzhong region were plentiful, causing Shu to become more prosperous and developed. Morale amongst the ranks was high. The region had once again become stable, and the tribal communities never rebelled while Zhuge Liang was alive.